Well, it's Tuesday, December 12th, and we've had our first little setback. We had a massive rainstorm on Sunday evening. I think we probably got 2.5 or 3 inches of rain in a couple of hours, and I have got a lot of dirt in my post holes. Some of these really washed out bad. So that means lots and lots of post hole digging, and no auger this time. I thought about covering them up, but I thought, hey, they'll be all right. I was wrong. So that's the way it goes sometimes. Well, it's Wednesday, December 13th. And we're in damage control mode this morning. I went into work for a couple hours this morning, got things in good shape there, and came back home. And I got to try to get some of this dirt out of the post holes that has washed in here because of this crazy rain we had last weekend. The reason for the urgency is that next weekend it looks like we're having pretty much a tropical storm. That's very unusual here for December, but there's a low in the Gulf, and it's gonna develop and cross Florida and then dump probably 3 or 4 more inches here starting this coming Sunday. So the goal would be to get all these posts in the ground, and that way if some dirt washes in the holes, who cares? Posts are already set. Luckily I did get those 12 done last weekend before the rain. And now we just gotta dig out what has washed into all these post holes. And hopefully by this weekend we can get all these posts set and be done with this. So sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate. First little setback, no big deal, but lots of work to do. Well, 6 hours is what it took to correct that problem. Maybe 6.5. 6.5 hours worth of post hole digging is not fun, but we got it done. So now we should be back on schedule as long as we can get these posts set and in the ground, buried by this coming Sunday, I think is when our weather gets here. We want to protect this as best we can from this 3 inches, 4 inches of rain that we're going to get. If the posts are in the ground and buried, then it can rain all it wants to. The posts on the back side, back here, I'm going to have to figure out something to do to cover those because I can't put those posts in the ground until we set trusses. We got to be able to drive in with the tractor, with our trusses to set them from that side. So I'm going to have to come up with a game plan, but I got a few days to figure that out. So anyway, mission accomplished for today. Well, good morning. It's Friday, December 15th. It's a cold morning. It's about 24 this morning. You can see it's nice and frosty behind me. As you can see back here, we've got all the front wall and the back wall set. And we've got today and tomorrow full days to get the rest of the posts set. That's all the porch posts and one end wall. I should have a truckload of sand coming in today, and we want to get those covered up. Maybe a couple rows of Girts up to make sure things are square, and get those post holes buried before we get our weather this coming Sunday and Monday. I'm going to take you over and give you a look at how we're doing these posts, and then we're going to get busy. So just to explain a little bit about the bracing here, you can see our string lines, and as you can see, the post the string line is run to the outside of the girt, so it's 1.5 inches outside the post, and that is intentional. If you put the string line exactly on the post, then every post you set will touch your string line, and your string line will be very bowed and hard to work with. So doing it this way keeps the string line free and clear. Basically, for every corner post, you're going to have bracing in 2 directions, which would be down that way and down this way, and then each post after that just has the single. You'll have 2 braces that go over and connect to the bottom of the post, and that kind of sets the post in position in the hole. And then you'll have 2 braces that come up at about a 45, and those will hold the post in its square upright position. And you just have to work with a long level. I've got a 4-foot level that I use on the side of these to get things in square, and you do all this with screws, so you can take your screws out and make small adjustments. And then once you get that first corner post set, the rest of these get a little bit easier. I'll show you. If you look here, you can see that pencil mark on that board there and the pencil mark on the board here. So that's just a measurement from the previous post over to the next post, and that's going to automatically get you really close to square in that direction because you already set this one square. So then all you have to worry about is your distance from the string line here, and get that bottom board tacked in, a couple screws there, and then get your post upright and plumb this way, and get that brace in, and then you're done. Go ahead and screw it in and move on to your next post. So we've done that for every post that you see here, and things are turning out really level and really plumb, so that's good. And last night I took the laser and shot some new lines here so I can put up some string lines for the porches. So we'll have a string here that comes off of that screw and goes back over that way, and then I've got a good line there for the front, and we've got the same thing in the back. So that's the goal for today, is get all the posts up, including those on this end wall. So do our best. I'm finding out that these solid 6x6s are way heavier than the 3-ply. They're a little bit bigger in dimension. These are 5 3/4 square, where those are like 4 3/8 by 5 1/2 or 5 1/4. But these puppies are heavy, so work smarter, not harder. I'm gonna let the truck help me out. Good deal. Well, it's another cold morning here. 28, I think, this morning. Nice and frosty again. We got a lot done yesterday. Dad was able to help me a good chunk of the day yesterday, and setting poles is so much easier when you got 2 people. It just goes a lot faster. We got all the porch poles set yesterday, and we got the end poles down here on this end set. Came out here last night with the laser and shot us a nice level line around to get a row or 2 of girts up on the outside today. We are planning to get girts up and get this sand that you see over here, we want to get that backfilled into the post holes today, and that's going to get us ready for the storm that we've got brewing tomorrow and the next day. It's probably going to have 30-40 mile an hour wind and 3 or 4 inches of rain, so it's definitely something we want to get shored up before before the weather gets here. So I'll take you over there and show you what we got done yesterday. Here's our sand that was delivered yesterday morning, and this is really good, coarse, probably just a little coarser than beach sand, so that's going to work really well for getting these posts embedded. That gives something that can drain. Water can go in and out freely around these posts, and sand is pretty inert, doesn't like to grow things like bacteria and other rot issues. Yesterday we got those 4 front porch poles up. We got 6 end posts up, so you can see they're a little on the taller side for the gable end of the house. And then we also got these 6 back porch posts set. We had our laser set up on that ladder last night and ran around here with a Sharpie and got us a nice mark on every post. Mark. So that is a mark for our first row of 2x4 Girts that are going to go up on the outside. We're going to get those nailed in today and start backfilling some of these post holes. Show you something here that might drive some of you guys insane, but at heart this thing's a pole barn, so it's not the most accurate thing in the world. So if you see, these are all 16-foot 2x4s here. All right, so we started this one here, and because of the spacing, it's going to come up on the left side of this post. No problem. We're gonna nail that in, start our next one. Now, I didn't cut any of these to exactly 16 foot, so most of them are 16.5 inch or 16.75 of an inch. So now you can see that one's growing a little bit further right on the board, on the post rather. Now we're almost dead center of the post. Now we're a little right of center on the post. And then down here at the end, I just left it long. I'll come back here with my skill saw and give this thing a haircut. And then I don't have to sit over there and cut 150 Girts to exactly 16 feet. I'm gonna stretch a tape up top to ensure that I'm not splayed out way over dimension or anything like that. And I'll leave this last board here unnailed for now, so if I need to pull that in and make any adjustments, I can. But we are not building spaceships here. We're building a pole barn. So use the slack when you can. Well, we got a lot done this past weekend. Got all the sand spread out and backfilled into all of our post holes. Our storm did come like we thought it would. I think we got somewhere around 3 inches of rain. So we covered up these post holes here on the end, some old tin that we had. And as you can see, I dug a trench here so that water from the pad would just wash out. And it dug a pretty significant waterway there. Spilled out a bunch of material into the yard, but that's no big deal. So hopefully that's keeping the pad a little bit drier. So maybe tonight, if I get some time, I'm gonna set my laser up and start marking the top of these posts to get those cut for their truss notches and get ready to set trusses maybe here over the Christmas break. Things are coming along.